Alright, here we are. I'm not going to wait any longer because I'm starting to suspect my multimeter. Look at this. If I move it, it really fluctuates. It goes up to 500, so I'm starting to doubt this multimeter, or maybe that's just because it's sensing amperage or blah blah blah, it's sensitive. I have no idea. So even that, it went all the way down to 50 milliamps. So we're gonna ignore that. We're just gonna see if we can isolate this circuit. First thing that I'm gonna go for is the let's see here, Terran pump horn, engine one. In fact, let me look for some signs of. I'm assuming they got the power source from inside. This is the power. Oh. What? No way. Okay, so that is the number one. That has to do with the auto start. So that is, I'm looking over here at the, off of the ignition coil, number one ignition coil. It's got a power wire, or a signal wire, I'm assuming. We've got a power source to the horn here, which we can disconnect if it gets annoying. And then everything kind of goes in that way. I'm assuming again that this security system's alarm is connected to power on the inside. So I'm going to pull the radio fuse first. It's a 15 amp. Okay, nothing changes. Again, with our readings right now are 100 to 150 milliamps. In fact, let me get my little pliers. I usually don't use the OD. Alright. Why don't I just start pulling them, guys? Just do them all. And I could go all day with trying to predict where it is, but at the end of the day, it's going to be in the circuit that it's in. And if I have to do the other fuse setup for this thing is right on the inside of the driver door, so the door will need to be open. So I guess I might have to take into account the extra amp draw from obviously the door being open, and then just look for that that 150 milliamp change. These don't really feel that great coming in and out. Engine 1. Okay. And anytime you do something like this too, when you're done, all said and done, make sure you go back through and make sure all this stuff is connected. Obviously you've changed quite a bit. What am I doing here? Did I already do this one? No. I should do a time lapse here. Let me switch to that, guys. I've got about 20 or so more to go. think I found something, everybody. Here is the TBC circuit. Which here, right there, in the very bottom right-hand corner. Watch. Right now it's at Right now it's at 800 milliamps, 7,000. And watch when I pull this number 10 out. Now it's down to 10, 20, 30, 30, 40. Still a little bit close to the threshold. And again, I might duplicate this test with my dad's Fluke, which is a really nice thing I don't want to break, actually. Oh, there's 0.5. So even with that taken out, there's still something going on. According to this, right? Because I just saw a 5 on there. That would mean there's 50 milliamps still drawing. So here we are. I'm going to put this 10 back in. And we're already up to 90. Here we go. 570, 80. So that whatever that is now kind of powering back on. Over time, this is going to drop to the 300 to 200 range that it was, but still. So, we may have a multi-layered parasitic draw here. Oh, here we go. It would just drop down to 70, 80, 90, 60. Again, it's all above 50 milliamps, so that's a heavy draw. Now watch. And pull it out. Immediately down to 4. I just saw 4. So still something is going on. So I think before I start pulling more fuses out, because I could just go all the way back through, I think what I'm going to do is try and identify what this TBC circuit is, and then find out this alarm system / auto start. Where is that tying in its power? If I run into a roadblock there, what I'm going to do is go back to the drawing board, pull out all my fuses here, and I didn't pull out these big ones, but I guess I could. And you're really looking for, like, a 1, a 2, maybe a 3. You're starting to get into a 4. Maybe you have a lot of crap in your vehicle that is, electronically, which this one does with the highfalutin auto start. So this might be its normal range, just hovering and touching that max. So again, maybe this alarm system / auto start just needs to get out because it's just not that efficient. Something to think about. Alright, I'm just gonna, for kicks, pull out all these big ones, the max fuses. See if we just have a sudden death. This one does not have air suspension. This is what's called the wrap circuit. No idea what that is. These are more of like, super primary circuits, so again, it could lead us to some answers. If I see a 4, I'm moving on. This one seemed to actually help a little bit. This is ignition. Oh, and I think that's it. Remember this wire that's hooked up to the the primary coil over here? Look at that. Now it's not going over 3. It's gonna turn off soon, I think. Look at that, folks. Let's put it back in. Confirmation, guys, that is definitely part of the circuit right here. I'll show you. That white wire is hooked right into the coil. So again, you notice there was a draw on that circuit when I disconnected it. See right there, 4, the point, when it goes up to 4, watch this, it's really 2, 3, and 4. Before I take this one out again, I'm going to keep going to RIP2. No idea what RIP is, whoops. I just completely shut down. I knew it was going to do that. So again, we're 2, 3, 4, there's a 1 that flashes in. Saw 4. We're going to pull this last one out. I think we've just locked and loaded, guys, with this alarm system as part of it, and then whatever this TBC circuit is, we're going to find out what is draining on that circuit. Watch this. 2, 3, 4, and again, there it is. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. That's kind of normal, guys. 0, 1, 2, 3. That's our parasitic draw, guys. It's a 2-layer effort. So we're gonna figure out what this TBC circuit is. We're gonna consult the client, which is my dad, to go ahead and remove this whole system, and we're gonna carefully extract it from the vehicles. A lot of times, guys, when you add this stuff to these vehicles, number one, make sure it's quality manufacturing. Number two, over time, those components will break down. You might develop some sort of an issue like this. You see how when I just moved it, it went up to 0.8. So that's what I don't like, but let it settle. It seems very accurate, so it's not going past 3 anymore. There could even be something else in here. You know, we can get it down to oh, and I saw 4 there. Whew, I'm not gonna touch it. Let's see here. You know, there might be something else, guys. You never know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna address these biggies, and then I'll probably still retest with my dad's fluke just to make sure that I'm getting the same reading here. I still have the TBC fuse out, as well as the ignition B fuse out, which ignition B is maybe somehow related to, I don't know. We'll figure it out, guys. I gotta go look up some schematics and get her done. These are the 2 fuses that decided to give us some answers. Ignition B circuit and TBC, which is probably trans brake controller, I'm thinking, and that's where they tied this alarm system's power into. So, and because something's going on there, it's drawing current through the ignition circuit as well. So we're gonna get rid of it for sure. So anyways, over and out. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I don't like that it's getting up to 3 even. I'd like to keep it to around 1 or 2. But again, you gotta take into account this ammeter I got is super old. I was gonna change the batteries, but it seems to be pretty accurate when you don't bump it, which makes sense. So, all right, thanks, y'all. All right, y'all. We are basically have access to this spaghetti factory here. Look at this. This is just absolutely ridiculous. Look at all the tape, black tape. I believe this is the module. And then I also uncovered some sort of a speaker wire transfer station. I'm not sure what this is, but I'm gonna unhook those. I'm gonna unhook this and this and this and see if I could maintain a under 50 milliamp situation with everything closed back up, because obviously I'd love to test it right away, but I didn't run on the window. And then also this is supposed to be, I'm noticing the tint is kind of pockmarked there. The door needs to be closed for me to really get a good reading. So we'll do that, get everything undone here. See how look at this, it's just big old monster wires like splicing in. Yeah, look at that. I mean, how could this be like, these red wires, they're just tied in, and I think somebody, oh, I have no idea, guys. This is like getting scary actually, because it looks like I gotta get everything, I'm gonna get all these night ties off. I mean, maybe this is supposed to plug back in somewhere on the vehicle side, but I don't know, guys. It's like, looks like these wires just go right into the OEM harness, and if that is the case, then man, you might have a, I gotta remove this too so I can look at more tape right here. I gotta figure out what's going on there, so. I'm not gonna disconnect anything. Well, at the end of the day, if disconnecting this works, we'll just leave it at that, but man, eventually this is all gonna have to get sorted out in order to properly put a new auto start on. So what I'm gonna do is start out with just removing the nylon ties, and then really figuring out what is on the device side, and then what is OEM, and obviously try to leave the OEM stuff and separate this other stuff. So here we go. All right, everybody. Right now we got a pretty solid 0123 reading with both fuses installed, our ignition B, and this is the body control module. When I removed this one at first, big things happened, and then along with this one, I was able to get down to something acceptable. But, and I'll show you again here. So I'm pretty satisfied with that already. So I'm gonna turn this off. Let me show you guys. This is it. The problem is whoever did this job didn't splice everything together in a friendly manner. I'm hoping they didn't solder everything together. But they basically connected the wires in line with the OEM harness. So, as you can see here. So this big old unit here, connected into this bad boy. And then on this side was this thing. There's a ton of wires that are just not needed. There was, sorry guys. This dealy bob, the shock sensitivity deal. Another little, probably the antenna. Bunch of other stuff. There's two wires here that I believe run up to the, if you can see it, the remote thing. And then there's, maybe this microphone goes with this system. I think it does. This, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get it working again, because this goes into the front door, both of these apparently, and these go somewhere, which I just completely took them off just to eliminate any issues. But I'm gonna have to make sure the stereo works after all this. But yeah, look at this. Each of these are just kind of connected in line, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna see behind this black tape, and also on the big dogs. You see the orange here? The purple goes into the orange, so it doesn't look good. It looks like they just twisted the wires together. I'm hoping they didn't solder. If they did, I'll just clip it and tape it, so it'll just take a while. All good, but it looks like we got the fix. holding pretty steady at 1, 2, 3. I saw it go to 4 once. Let's turn off. Alright, ladies and gents, I didn't hear anything record sound, but it says it's recording. So what I've done with this back on the Yukon here, I've cleaned the terminals, and of course with these you just pop out the side terminals, and then the boot basically just slides right off. Whoops, and so a lot of times, even in here inside the boot, it can be caked with you know, acid, and you want to clean that out. Of course, these aren't bad at all, but I was able to get down and dirty with this ground side because it did have some pretty good corrosion on it, acid buildup. You can still see some of it. But yeah, you want to get all that cleaned up. And this battery, we've determined, is actually a bad battery too. I retested, I rehooked everything under the dash. In fact, I'll need to film that here. I'll do another quick thing. But I had it on the battery maintainer charger, charged it fully, let it sit for about 24 hours, and it was sitting here reading at 10 volts, failing the load test. So maybe it got overworked or something happened to it. Who knows? Maybe you got the Rona. Anyway, so I got the 10 amp charger on it just to see if I could bring it back to life. Sometimes if you just put the battery maintainers on there, if that batteries are really discharged, these sometimes can't bring it back up to where it needs to be to actually maintain it. So that's a possibility that this is the issue, but I don't think so. The battery was pretty near fully charged when we started, and it's been in here. It's not too cold out. But anyways, we're gonna zap it. I am gonna get everything done on it and then pull it out to park it. My dad's gonna go replace the battery tomorrow, so I gotta bring him this battery. So I'm gonna park it, get it all done. And so under here, this is the signal wire from the number 1 spark plug, basically telling the whoops, and I didn't do that really well, but this is basically just taped up. This is ridiculous. Keepers, I don't know what the heck I was trying to do there, but it's not connected at all. It's connected to nothing on that side, but at least they still have the wire in case somebody wants to hook up another auto start. So yeah, I gotta redo all that. All this is just empty loom and wire, so I just left it there for the next guy. But I'll tape that down, and then the horn is still ready to go. Here's the end of it. Horn is still hooked up, so that's cool. And this light isn't gonna work, so let me stop this. All right, so it doesn't look that great, but remember, these wires were actually, someone had cut the insulation, you know, linked the new wire in and then soldered it. So it's just really, I don't know. Yes, soldering's a good way to connect things, but a lot of times when you do work like this, you don't want to really mess too much with the, well, in fact they didn't cut the original wire, which is great. But there's other great products you can use to connect, you know, properly. Anyway, that's neither here nor there at this point. But yeah, every one of these big tape jobs is where they had spliced in, so pretty confident that I got everything good. I'm gonna make sure that everything's safely out of the way. This thing's metal that I gotta put up like that, so I'm gonna really make sure that none of these wires are gonna rub, especially these bigger, you know, power looking wires. So, but yeah, I just wanted to film that. And one big unfortunate thing is that this thing I just unplugged. So this also had an amp, a speaker box, and a different receiver. Dad replaced the receiver, but it had this highfalutin freaking transfer box for like frequencies and crap. Anyway, I just ripped them all. I disconnected them all because I'm trying to find the draw. So anyway, I got them kind of pinned under here so they don't connect. I think it's just signal type stuff. So, but I'm hoping the radio works and the speakers all work, and it's just a I think it was an old piece of equipment to really tune your, your mids and your highs and all that stuff. Who knows? But and then also maybe for the bass signals. Who knows? So here we are. We're gonna finish charging up this battery. I'm gonna put on these boots, the battery cable boots. I got them warming in my pocket right now because they're really cold out here, and they'll be a lot more malleable as I try to stuff that thing in there. Stuff the new terminal. Anyway, so I hope you're all doing well. Over and out.